Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. I am recording this reading on October 6th, 2025, and it will be coming out on October 7th, 2025. I want you to know the date. So if you want to look and see what was going on in your life on that day, you'll see how that might have influenced the reading. That being said, these readings are timeless. They are activated when you watch. Okay, Scorpio, so we begin with, that's right, the Empress. For a second, I'm like, oh, the High Priestess. I get these two cards confused. The colors, dude. It's the colors. But this is the Empress. Okay, so this is an energy of, well, the ultimate queen, right? She is, if you could imagine, somebody who is walking across the beautiful meadow and there are birds following and, chipmunks and squirrels and rabbits, and everywhere she places her feet, flowers are coming up, and, it is just this vibrant, life-bringing, life-flourishing kind of energy. This is also the energy of somebody who, although they have a lot of love and they have a lot of ability to create, and to create things that are lasting, by the way, there is a sense of loneliness in the Empress and the Emperor. Now, you have to consider, these are archetypes that are born and bred to rule, basically, right? They spend their whole lives being prepared to run a country or, a territory or whatever. And not really many people can understand what that would be like. And also, can they trust people? Everybody has their own agenda. The closer you get to power, to leadership, more and more agenda, more and more, conspiracies and ploys and all that kind of stuff. So it drives these archetypes to be quite isolated, even if they're surrounded by people. So that is a part that we also have to keep in mind. Now, I'm going to turn this thing and we're going to knock. And I want to say thank you for being here with me. It's always such an honor. I would love to hear in the comments section all about what has brought you here today. Why are you watching a reading? What kind of questions do you have? What are you looking for? I'm always interested. So put that down in the comments. And also, if you want to like the video, it really helps the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll notify you when readings come out. All right. So let's take a look here. We have, it looks like, we have a stop sign. We have a person who is, this is the stop sign right here. We have a person who is standing in front of, or standing in front of them is the Ace of Cups right here. Okay, now we have a person who is seated over here. And I'm going to go with the Hermit, as it looks like they have maybe like a lantern or something like that right there. I'm just going to kind of so it does look like we had a tower moment. We found out it was somebody. Oh, excuse me. We have a little rat. We have also, it looks like a person who is, angry. Very angry. Okay. I feel like there has been a situation where something that you told somebody in confidence, or maybe it's something they just like happened to find out about you. I feel like this might be in the work environment. I feel like you've, maybe been reported to like HR or something, or somebody like, told the whole office like your business, or, something like that. Now, I do feel like this was a person that you thought you could trust, because there is such an anger. If this was just some random, office mate that you barely know, you've seen each other for the last 2 years or whatever every day, but you don't really know them, I can't imagine that you're going to be that furious. I mean, obviously not happy, but this amount of anger feels like somebody who has betrayed you. Okay, this was somebody that you trusted. So I do see that kind of playing out up here. Now, it does feel like this is maybe something that's already started, or it's already happened. Over here, I feel like there's this real urgency to remember to stop yourself, to pump them brakes, to get a hold of yourself, Scorpio, and not react. I mean, that's the big thing. Now, I always say, right? I'm a Virgo, you're a Scorpio. Somehow we are so interconnected. I know somebody has explained it in the comments before, why there's a particular relationship between Scorpio and Virgo. To me, I feel like it's like siblings, like we're twins, right? You are the cooler, probably more beautiful, more stylish, more interesting sibling, right? And us Virgos, yeah, we're cool. I'm not going to say we aren't, but we're not as cool as like a Scorpio. Although, we're less likely to burn down our wives. I mean, let's be real, that is true. So, here we are in this moment where, Scorpio, you have to get a hold of yourself, because whatever you do here is going to affect everything. Okay? We have the person in front, or they have the cup in front of them. I don't know why I keep saying they are in front of it. They're not. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the perspective, but the cup is in front of the person right here. Okay, so it seems to me that maybe you have been doing some kind of like nervous system regulation, or you have been going to therapy, you've been working on your coping mechanisms, your reactions, and I feel like you are activating those skills that you have learned, and you're using them. Okay, now, does this mean that you absolutely are not going to crash out at all? I mean, duh, no. I feel like you probably will somewhere, right? At some point dealing with this situation. It's just a matter of getting yourself home where nobody can see you first, right? And sometimes it just be like that. Sometimes we know I'm going to freak out, absolutely, but I am saving it for when I can get home, I can put my stuff down, I can walk out to the woods, and I can scream. I can just lose it, right? That is a huge step. A huge step. Now, not reacting at all, I don't see that as like a big win, right? I'm not one for suppressing our emotions, our feelings at all. But, and here's the big but, I am all about being super aware of how you're going to affect your life, how you're going to affect others, how you might even affect how you feel, depending on like how you react, right? So, I feel like this is a real like confirmation of your self-evolution, but I also feel like it's a good reminder to have some of that stuff in place. Like, for instance, I live out in the middle of nowhere, right? We have some property here. And I can have fires. I can have big fires, little fires, whatever. I'm in the country. So we need to cut wood, right? When I am angry, when I am feeling just, I know I can go and cut some wood. I know I can swing that thing and break some stuff, right? And I think we all need stuff like this, right? We don't, maybe not like a full, like, what are they? I was going to call it a terror room. No. What are those ones called? The like anger room, or I don't know, whatever, where you go and break stuff. You pay somebody to go in and like you can break up old TVs and stuff and get all the dust in your lungs. You don't have a whole one of those at home, but something set up, right, where you can get some of that, just screaming into the void energy out intentionally. Okay? So make sure that you are lining up places and activities at home or otherwise, right? Maybe you like to go for a run, or whatever. Just have that stuff at the ready, okay? Because at times, man, even the stuff that we have already been processing, it can come right back up. You get one little sniff of something being off, one little hint of a lie, or, whatever it is. And yeah, you're going to go off. It's all going to come up right there, right to your throat, your chest, your throat, just waiting to get out. But we're not going to release it like a wild chaos. No, we're going to use our sublimation, right? That is putting these uncomfortable emotions, these angers, this rage into something creative, into something useful, into something that, transforms that emotion, like cutting wood, right? So here we go. I feel that you're very much in hermit mode. You're back to just not trusting anybody. I don't think that's abnormal for you. I don't think that you trust people usually in general. But whatever happened here, it really teed you off. And then I feel like your feelings are deeply hurt. I also feel like, there's this kind of, I can't trust anybody anymore. I just can't, and I don't know. I mean, I do not trust people either. So I can't tell you that like, hey, it's going to get better. You're going to start trusting people again. I'm married and have a kid and I still don't trust anybody at all. I just don't. I mean, with certain things I do, like, are the bills going to get paid when you say they are? Yeah, I trust that. You know what I mean? Are you going to like save me if we're like at a canyon, I'm looking over, I fall, and then I'm like on a little ledge there? Can I trust you to save me? Maybe not. You know what I mean? But here's the deal. I'm not going to advocate like pushing yourself into trusting other people. Maybe this is what has kept you alive, which I understand. 100%. I understand it. But allowing yourself to be neutral about certain things and certain people, I find that this really helps me a lot. Okay? I also like to just choose intentionally to believe somebody. I don't care if I have any evidence, if I have receipts. At this point in my life, I don't care if you're lying as long as it doesn't affect my money, my relationship with my daughter's life. I mean, that's number one, my daughter's life. I don't really care if you're lying to me. Baby, if you need to lie to yourself all day long and everybody you come in contact with, that is your deal. If that's how you survive being alive, I'm not going to knock it. Do I want you in my life? No. No. But, you know, I'm not going to judge too harshly. Okay. But I feel like for you, yeah, you're just not dealing with these people. You know, not like these people. I mean, all the people. None of these people. Okay. I do feel that there's an aggressive, fiery energy beneath it. I also feel like you are maybe not unlike myself, where even though you don't want to see anybody, you don't want to talk to anybody, you don't want to do anything, you still want people to try, you know, invite you and feign their disappointment when you decline the 50th invitation in a row, you know, but you want to feel included. You don't really want to do the thing. Okay, that's where we're at. And that's not bad. I will also suggest here, though, that you get your whatever it is that you're going to be doing when you're in hermit mode ready. Get it ready. Do not squander your time, okay? Get the stuff you want to study together, the projects you want to do, the house, you know, work or whatever, the yard work. Get it all set up so that when you are in this hermit mode, you're not just idling and ruminating and all of that, okay? I absolutely can like squander a day very easily. I'm taking the day to be by myself, and next thing I know, I've squandered the last hour and a half like looking at, you know, recipes online or something, when I could have been doing a million other things. So get it ready, be ready for your time, because it will go quickly. Now, we also have a crab with a crown. Maybe you have a Cancer person in your life. Maybe your significant other is kind of a crabby person. You know, I feel like there's a lot of love here. I feel like actually you really get along together. It makes sense to me in a weird way that like Scorpio and Cancer would really get along. It's just the one part that really, I think, is you both are always right. You know, Cancer will not fight with you about if they're right, but they will continue to state things as though they're right. So you know that they know, or they believe anyways, that they are always in the right, usually in the right. And, you know, Scorpio, you might know that you're dead wrong, but you're still going to fight to prove that you're right. Okay? I don't know why. It's something I actually really love about you Scorpios. But, you know, to me, I think that would be the biggest hurdle, is just letting things lie, or compromising with a Cancer. And I'm laughing because it seems ridiculous. I can't imagine. But you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's like two, you know, powerful forces meet each other, and, you know, there's this cosmic bang. Now, we also have the letter Z, and we have a person standing here pointing at it, okay? So the arrival of Z, there seems to be something about Z. Maybe a name, maybe it's sleep, maybe it is just the letter, maybe it's a place. Okay. So it does seem we have the ring, we have a shield, we have a shoe, like a high heel. Up here we have, it looks like a person with an arrow, and I feel very much like it's like you've been being pursued by somebody. And we have the letter F repeated throughout the reading. So, and the letter F seems important. Maybe a name as well. But I almost feel like it's a person that has pursued you continually. I don't think that you... We have 2 sevens. I don't think that you are into them. I don't think it's your primary relationship. I don't think it ever will be, but I do feel like it, I don't know, there's some kind of like flirtation that feels good, or they're very complimentary. They make you feel seen and heard. And I think it is kind of just, it is a little bit of maybe an emotional dalliance, a little bit of a flirting. But I do feel like they're in love with you. And I think at some point soon, you're going to have to be very clear with them if you aren't interested in kind of being together or dating. And you might be married or something. I don't know. But, you know, I think you have to be probably pretty clear with this person about your expectations or their expectations, and really just your non-interest ultimately. Now, I will say, be careful, you know, just be careful. People can behave in such strange and unsafe ways, especially when it comes to love and attraction and being rejected. Okay. And maybe that's part of why you haven't said anything and you kind of just have let this thing go on and linger. And I am looking at this one because we had the person here and then we had you. Then we had this. And it, to me, looks like it's like a monster, right? And I feel like maybe you sense that like you don't want to be like too dismissive of this person or give them too much attention, because there is the vibe that they might freak out. They might be a total crash out. And you know, I don't know about you, but I've had more than one kind of stalker situation. I've been pursued by people that will not take no for an answer, basically, and can't read the room, apparently, you know, if I've said it, you know, completely overtly or not, right? And I feel like a lot of us have had these situations, especially when you're like younger. It often happens when you're younger, right? And you're ill-equipped to deal with people like that. Now, it's easy. It's like, you know, take a freaking hike, get the freak out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I have 0 time, baby. Like, are you kidding me? Like, send it. I don't care. I'm not even going to open it. Like, send the emails, send the text. I'm not even looking, my dude. You know, but when you're young, I think that there's definitely more of this, like, feeling of, like, you have to respond or whatever. Now, you do have to be careful with people, though, because you just never know. You just never know, okay? And it can... I'm doing... blessings. I'm blessing you over and over. I hope that you never are caught by the eye, or nobody's eye is ever upon you that ends up being a total, just, I mean, stalker, dangerous, any of that stuff, right? One of my biggest fears in life, you know, you just hope. Somebody I know is going through it right now, like somebody I know in real life, going through a very, very complex situation, but like having somebody who... and it wasn't maybe romantic, I don't know, but it's a woman who is kind of being stalked by another woman, and kind of like a single white female type of deal. And you just never know. And it sucks because it's like, how do you go out in the world and interact with people when it's like, if I'm too nice, you know, it invites in this energy that like, nope. No, I don't want, you know, I'm not interested in attention. I'm not interested in being pursued. I'm not interested in flattery. But you want to be nice. You want to go through your day smiling and holding the door for people. And, I do. I feel like that's a good day. But at the same time, you have to be careful. Okay? So letting this person down in a way that, I don't know. It sucks that we have to even consider how we're going to let somebody down. But, the other deal is letting people know in your life. If this is something that you feel could get volatile, definitely let people know in your life. Like, it doesn't have to be a big old thing, but like, hey, I just wanted to mention I've been getting these messages. I want you to know about it in case anything should happen, right? We got to document that kind of stuff. I absolutely do. So, if you are listening and sending wild emails or whatever, which I do get. Okay, so we have 655, 655. Last night I was talking to my husband. We were like laying in bed. I'm like, I am freaked out for when my daughter wants to be online. I don't know how these poor kids have to grow up with so much access to them. People have access to them. They have access to all kinds of stuff too. Like things that like you're just not prepared to deal with, Okay, we have the number 4113. Okay. Also 335. 335. We also have, again, the Ace of Cups. Okay. So, to me, it really feels like you are, we have the Ace of Cups. It turns into a person who is holding a crescent moon, and we have a crescent moon here. It feels to me like you are going to be using whatever that heartache was, whatever it was that, that last tower moment, that thing that really rocked your world. I see you using it as something to put into your creative work, into whatever your life goals are, the things that are daily and the things that are those big dreams. But I do feel like this is fuel for you. You're coming into a place where I feel like, it's a sense of like, and I'm trying to like think of the right words, because it feels like confidence. It feels like I can do whatever I put my mind to, and I'm going to do it all by myself. Don't help me, But there's also the softness, right? Because here's the deal with Scorpio, is that you can be hard and fiery, and you could burn down the world if you wanted to. But you are so soft in the heart. You are so loving and kind. Once you get the trust of a Scorpio, baby, that is a friend for life, right? That is like skip even being friends. You're like siblings, right? You love so deeply and so hard. To get into your good graces is a miracle, and it is a huge blessing. So I feel like as you are kind of, going into yourself at times and having just, I don't know, a difficult time trusting people, I feel like on the other side of it, there is a sense of like your ability to love growing. It's like you're healing yourself. That's what I really feel like as you emerge from this part of the cycle, it's going to be all about like love, not just romantic love. I think it's going to be like your passions, you know? Now we're going to ask the cards, and these are the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Yes, that's right. And we're going to ask, what are we going to have in this next week? Okay, so we have flirtation. We have a decision to make. And negotiation. Okay, so it feels to me that you have some kind of opportunity coming up, and you are flirting with the idea of it. You are, you know, romanticizing, and it's, you know, all of the things I could do, all the places that I might go, and, you know, really, really daydreaming. Lots of daydreaming here. Now, I feel like it's not exactly the thing that is going to work for you, so you're going to have to, like, you know, negotiate a little bit. And for some reason, this almost kind of feels like you might get a new position at work. The hours might not be exactly what you can do. Maybe you got to leave to go pick up the kids or whatever. The other part of it is I almost wonder if they want you to move somewhere else, like fully move your life. But there needs to be a decision pretty soon. This is like something that is very time sensitive. And I'm just going to kind of clarify. Romance. Oh, extremism. Caution. Okay. So I feel like an aspect of this is definitely there is love, right? At least attraction, lust, this kind of thing. Romance. I feel like when you are focused on your love life, your romantic life, you don't always make logical decisions, right? You are much more willing to kind of change your life for somebody else than you are willing to change your life for yourself. Okay? And that's not a judgment, not at all. I have the same problem. Absolutely. I just want you to be very cautious about making big decisions based on what could be in a relationship, what should be, what you are hoping will happen, whatever, right? I feel like you need to be deciding from a more material, you know, making this money, furthering your career. Is this the place that I want to live? Will this have better schools? Am I going to have less of a commute time? You know, this kind of practical stuff. I think that's all super important, okay? So it does feel like there is a big opportunity coming. And I feel like to some degree, you have been kind of like wondering, like, where's the universe? When is it going to show up for me? When is spirit? When is goddess going to show up for me? You know, and here it is, right? This is the more overt offering that you are receiving, okay? Let's do our numbers and then we're going to get out of here. Okay, first lucky number, number 50, 50, 48, 50, 48, and 90, 90. Okay. All right. Well, Scorpio, I want to say I love you and I thank you. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, again, I'm going to tell you I love you. I love you. I love you. We'll talk soon. Good night.